So I've always been a real sports nerd. I remember in the 90s when I was in high school. Yeah, I'm that old, by the way. Doing mock drafts, like writing them down or doing them on the computers at school in class, But I'll be the first one to admit, even though I've always done them and enjoyed them, that they're 99.9% pointless. They don't mean anything. It's just educated guessing. And the first time there's a trade, it just throws everything off balance. People who take their mock drafts super seriously and brag about getting like 7 out of the 32 picks right, there's really nothing more pathetic than that to me. But that being said, I still enjoy doing them, and I'm going to do one last one here about 24 hours before the draft kicks off. The one I posted last week was more on what I would have done if I was the GMs of these teams, but this one is what I think is going to happen based off of things I've read and just how I think it's going to play out. This is going to be a short video, just the top 10 picks, last second before the draft kicks off tomorrow. There's little to no drama here. Tennessee hasn't added much to the quarterback room during the offseason, and I think they've been set to take Cam Ward for a couple of months now. I don't think he's an elite prospect, but if you need a quarterback and you're drafting at the top of the draft and there's somebody there who's pretty good, you just take him. I mean, maybe Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter would fill a bigger need and provide a quicker impact, but you can't win in the NFL without a quarterback. I don't know how good Ward will be, but he can make throws and he's a leader and he has a bunch of experience. So maybe it'll turn into a Jared Goff situation where he will be good enough to lead a good team and you'll just have to build around him. I don't think he's going to elevate his teammates to amazing heights or anything, but he could be a long-time starter, and that's what Tennessee really needs. Cleveland's quarterback situation is definitely the worst in the league, but unless Ward happens to fall to 2, I think they're going to go another direction for sure. Maybe too high for Shedeur Sanders, and there's a lot of guys they can get in the second round. This pick will definitely come down to Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter. I've had Hunter as the pick for a while now. He could be a fan favorite, even though he gets a lot of hate because people love to hate Deion Sanders and anything that is even remotely related to him. But Hunter's a good guy, works really hard, plays 120 snaps per game in college. I don't think that's going to happen in the NFL. It'll be interesting to see how he is utilized. I think for Cleveland, he'll be a wide receiver full-time and play some cornerback. They definitely need some weapons on that offense, and it'll be cool to see a player as dynamic as Hunter go to a franchise that has just struggled to have an identity for what seems like 40 or 50 years now. I think Shedeur Sanders is going to be a top 10 pick, but it's really hard to project where he's going to go. It'll probably be a trade somewhere or another. Like the Giants could trade down here, pick up a couple more picks, and then take Sanders at like 5 or 6. I have a hard time just straight up putting him ahead of Abdul Carter here. The Giants have Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeaux as pass rushers. Thibodeaux has been okay, but I think that shouldn't stop them from upgrading the position if they really feel good about Carter. He's definitely the top available prospect here, and while I picked Will Campbell last time and still feel that way, it's looking like it'll be Carter here one way or another. While the Patriots would obviously look really hard if either Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter falls, and would probably take either one of those guys, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. This team really needs offensive line help. They spent a lot in free agency, filled a lot of holes, but left tackle is still a gigantic sore spot. I've been a Will Campbell fan this entire draft process. You've seen guys like Kelvin Banks or Armand Membo get buzz over Campbell, but he's just remained steady as the top offensive lineman in this draft class. I think he's got franchise left tackle talent and ability, and I don't say that about anybody else in this class. Draft him, put him right at left tackle, and forget about that for the next 8 to 10 years. I feel pretty confident in the top 4 picks previous to this one, so this is where the draft really gets interesting for me. The Jaguars have a lot of needs, as they have for the past 15 years, it seems. Ashton Jeanty seems to be getting all the buzz right now, and he's the favorite according to betting sites. I think that would be kind of ridiculous. Tank Bigsby and Travis Etienne, that's a good running back duo, and the Jaguars just have so many other holes. Defensive line, cornerback, receiver, offensive line, that taking a running back when you have 2 pretty good ones in the top 5 just doesn't seem like the best use of resources, but this is the Jaguars, so you never know. I'm going to stick with my pick of Membo. I think building that offensive line is very important. They don't really have a lot of studs along that line, and Trevor Lawrence took a beating. Whether you play Membo at tackle or move him inside to guard, I think he has all pro potential at guard. Either way, build that offensive line and then get the rest of the machine moving after that. I moved off of the popular Ashton Jeanty to the Raiders prediction with my last mock draft, but I'm back on it this time. It makes too much sense. Pete Carroll really used the run during his time in Seattle, traded for Geno Smith, who needs a good running game behind him. Recent comments from people in the Las Vegas organization hinted towards drafting Jeanty. So no need to overthink things here. It's a great fit on paper. No team got less out of its running backs than the Raiders did last year. Say what you want about using a top 10 pick on a running back, but for the next 3 to 4 years at the very least, he's going to really help that whole Raiders offense as a whole. It still is great to have a true 3-down back on your offense. Oh, the New York Jets, always doing something that makes no sense. I agree, moving on from Aaron Rodgers was the obvious choice to make. Justin Fields has talent, but you really need to surround him with a lot of skill position players, and other than Garrett Wilson, there's really nobody on the roster. Despite a bunch of rumors that Jalen Walker or a cornerback could be a pick here, I think Tyler Warren makes the most sense. Drafting a tight end in the top 10 is always a risky thing. Tight ends usually take a while to develop, if ever at all. You usually don't get an instant impact guy unless there's just a Brock Bowers available, but Warren would be a really good safety valve for Fields. He had over 100 receptions as a senior for Penn State, and the Jets simply need to field an NFL caliber offense talent-wise. Outside of the top 4 picks, this is pretty much the easiest prediction for me to make. Carolina got nothing out of its pass rush last year and hasn't really added anybody during free agency. Jalen Walker may not be that 6'5", 265 pass rushing beast that you're wanting to pick in the top 10. He's more of a 6'1", 245, but he's a very good all-around defender, can rush the passer, can play more of a traditional linebacker role. Carolina's defense is just bare bones talent-wise at the moment, so he could provide talent and fill quite a few roles for that team. If you look at it on paper, Shedeur Sanders does make some sense here, but I have heard not one thing that the Saints are actually interested in going that direction, even if Derek Carr is unable to play. I think they'll go with Spencer Rattler and maybe draft somebody in the 2nd or 3rd round. The offensive and defensive lines still need a ton of help. That's probably the direction they're going to go. Kelvin Banks may not be a traditional top 10 pick, but he fills a huge need with Ramczyk retiring and Trevor Penning not really being that guy. Banks has a ton of experience, good athlete, and I think can handle left tackle pretty well. I don't see him falling past the Dolphins at 13, so this isn't really a huge reach. Chicago used free agency and trades to fill a lot of holes, so I think they can go more with the best available talent here while keying in on the defensive line and skill positions, especially running back. Ashton Jeanty is the pipe dream here, but it doesn't happen. They go with defensive end Michael Williams, one of the most talented players in this class. Didn't really erupt as a full-time player, but still had 4.5 sacks as a junior. He had an up and down pre-draft process, but I think the talent is going to keep him from falling too far in the draft. The Bears are pretty deep, and once you get out of the top 10, it's a pretty good spot to reach for a potential game-changing talent like Williams. Hope you guys enjoyed this quick little update 24 hours ago before the draft. I just wanted to get my predictions out there one last time. Like I say all the time, I don't ever pretend to be a scout or an expert or anything like that. I'm just a fan. At the end of the day, I don't know anything more than anybody else does. I don't know anything at all. So just my predictions, just having some fun, and that's it. Stay tuned. I'm going to have a roster update with the 1st round picks pretty much immediately after the 1st round is done. So either late Thursday night or early Friday morning, I'm going to get that out and uploaded. So stay tuned for that. It's coming very soon. As always, thank you everybody, and I'll talk to you again soon.